that signals to me that it's ready to be potentially shorted. Yeah, QS I think could be the one. What I do is I wait for an intraday setup. What are 3 trading tools that all traders must have? Go out and move, baby. Like, just go and move. That's the holy grail, right? Good morning, brothers and sisters. Friday, July 18th, 19th. Before the market opens, we are taking a little hike here. They call this the Cascades Dard. It's pretty sick over here. And dude, they got like awesome little coffee shop and stuff right in front of this place too. So it's like, it is just an epic little walk. It's probably 10 in the morning right now. So just biding some time before the market opens and getting my little family time in. We're gonna catch a little bit of lunch, but holy crap, this thing is epic. Hey buddy, what you doing there? Guys, check out this lunch spot, man. This is like a little most magical cafe I ever seen. So with the market being overextended, let's go over like what constitutes parabolic, right? So you can have an overbought market for a long period of time. It can go for months or even longer. And stocks can do the same thing. So when you short something that's like parabolic, you know, for a rubber band type of short, right? So like a mean reversion type of short, there's a handful of things that I look. So number one, you know, there's a handful of stocks that are showing this setup right now that are getting close. I think ASTS is getting there, RKLB is getting there, and Joby is getting there. And so what I'm looking for is, number one, it's had to have made a move of minimum 100% from its, you know, big base. The higher, the better. And then in the recent days, I want to see at least 4 to 5 green days in a row where the stock is just going up, going up, going up. The next part is I want to see a stock making multiple gaps, like it's got to gap up, then the next day it's got to gap up. And then if it gaps up even the 3rd day in a row, I mean, that's usually a good sign for a parabolic short. And then we want to use a couple technical factors to it. So I use Bollinger Bands and stochastics. So a stochastics 533 setting I use, which is anything over 90, I consider extreme overbought. You start getting to 95, 96, 97, right, it's a no-brainer. And then if the candle is piercing the top of the Bollinger Band, that signals to me that it's ready to be potentially shorted. If the candle gaps completely outside the upper Bollinger Band, that's when you get like the no-brainer. Like that's a short that day, probably even right at the open. So what are we looking for? Stocks that are 100% plus above the base. You want 4 or 5 green days in a row, multiple gaps, candle completely outside the upper Bollinger Band, and an overbought stochastics. That's usually the kind of primordial soup of what you would need to see for this type of setup to emerge. You see that, babe? My wife's a doctor, so she's always, she likes when I use those big words, right? Primordial. She likes when I use those big words. That's how this guy was made. I threw out a couple big words, showed her my mustache, and next thing you know, I'm a married man. Hey, right, Bachu? Dad's got a big vocab. So that's what we're looking for. So today, Joby, ASTS, RKLB, if any of them gap up 5, 6, 7%, that'll be probably the signal for me to start looking to potentially short. Now, I don't do it. What I do is I wait for an intraday setup, a gap fade, an opening range breakdown, some type of gap fill, right? So we have a handful of things that we're looking for, and then we hit it, all right? So wait for the signal today. I'll be trading live as always, so if I see it, I'm gonna hit it, and then we'll do a little trade review at the end and kind of go over it in detail with the chart. I don't know what it is, guys. Maybe I'm getting old, but I am just obsessed with this cafe. I've gone a couple days in a row now, and I just love it. Like, there's just something about all the greenery and, you know, like the level of details, right? Like, you know, you get up here, just like the level of detail they put into this place. It's just so damn cozy. And the food was really good too. Good coffee, good food. You got the waterfall. What else can you do? So this, my friends, is Cascades Dard, and it is pretty cute. Little magical day. My little guy's here trying to get up these stairs. You know, these kids in the stairs, right? So, hey buddy, what do you think of Cascade Dard? Yeah. You like that Cascades doo-doo guard. Woo. Let's go check this waterfall out here. Oh yeah. You know, a lot of times when you go see the waterfalls, like they never do it justice, right? You're like, get there and you're like, ah, this is nothing. But this is pretty cool. It looks like you can stick your feet in and hang out. What are 3 trading tools that all traders must have? Guys, I'm not a big believer you gotta have like thousands of dollars worth of scanners and softwares and AI bots and all of this bullshit. But you need 3 simple things. 1, a charting platform. Guys, invest in one. Don't just use your brokerage charting platform. Use a charting platform that can be the hub of everything you do. I like TC2000. Some people use TradingView. Some people use TrendSpider. They're all the same shit. They're 50 bucks or less. That's money worth it. Second one, get a trade journal, an online one. Don't try to do it off Excel or Google Docs. It's like a low-carb diet. You'll start doing it for a week, you'll feel pretty good, but then just let it go and it all goes to shit. So use an online one. I use TradeZilla. There's a lot of good ones out there like TraderSync. You know, there's a million of them, but TradeZilla has a lot of good features. Then the third one, a news feed. I use Trade Exchange. It's like $20 a month. I think you get for like a quarter subscription for 50 bucks. That's it. That's my tech stack. I've been trading for 20 years and still my tech stack is less than 100 bucks. So you don't got to spend any more money than that. But that is money you probably should spend. One news feed, one charting program, and guys, one journal. Get an online trading journal. It's going to save you so much time. Boom. You're off to the race. Guys, let's talk a little bit about how trading can mirror life. So one of the things that I tell my students that I've been teaching since 2008 is that whatever your personal habits and quirks are, they show up in your trading. And so if they start showing up in your trading, till you handle them in your personal life, they will keep biting you in the ass. For example, if you're a habitually late person, you're going to be late on your trade. If you are an anxious person, you tend to be an anxious trader. You got sweaty palms, you buy and sell everything a little bit too early, you always take your profits a little bit too early. If you're a hyperactive person like me, right? You got that big energy, then what tends to happen is you become an over trader. So what you want to do is narrow down what are your personal quirks that are showing up in your trading, and then put pen to paper. Get aware of your triggers that are causing this. So like, hey, when I'm acting hyperactive, it shows up in my trading. Boom, you know the trigger. Now when it happens, write it down, take a little break, and then you can conquer these type of things. But you gotta solve your personal demons if you're going to be a good trader long term. So today is Friday. What are some key things that you want to really think about on Fridays for preparing for the day? So number 1, I like to tally up my totals for the week, all right? Hey, I was green Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, I'm up 9 grand. And here's my plan for Friday. Why? Everybody has personal patterns. You have your stock market patterns, then you have your personal patterns, guys. My personal pattern is if I have a huge week, Monday to Thursday, historically, I like to really push the pedal on Friday. And that always bites me in the ass. Right? Like, you know, it's like that thing, like, man, I could double my profits, go home a hero on Friday, right? And it never works like that. So I have to like really, number 1, know my exact profit total for the week, and I write that down and put it next to my computer. So I don't even think about giving it back, right? And then I gotta really do some homework and find 1 or 2 good setups and nail them. And I gotta try to walk away if I've had a good week. Because it's happened to me, I'm not even thinking like dozens of times, I'm talking hundreds of times over the last 20 years, where it's like, I give back my whole week on a Friday because I'm always trying to push it. I'm an aggressive trader. I don't make any qualms about that, but I'm overly aggressive on Fridays and I'm just too loose with my wrist. Now I'm a little bit older, I don't do that because I want to spend time with my family, but it's always lurking there, right? Like just because you finally solve like one of your issues doesn't mean that it's just gone, right? Like it's kind of part of who I am as a trader. Like it always creeps up that like it's Friday, it's noon, man, I gotta go do this thing with my family. Let me take this one last trade. Man, if I go gangbusters on this trade, whoa, I'm gonna have a big week, man. Me and my wife be making baby number 2, right? You never know, right? You just get all this, you get this in your head. But you gotta always come back to like, just a trade is just a trade. That's all it is, guys. A trade is just a trade. Each trade is its own individual thing. Like you can't let your week, or like spending the money, like, oh, I'm gonna go do this, I'm gonna go on vacation if I hit this trade. You can't let those things creep up into this individual setup, right? So Friday, I've got a couple things I wanna do. I'm thinking maybe I could finally short this S-bet, maybe circle. I really think that like some of these stocks like ASTS, RKLB, and Joby are really extended. If they gap up today, the zero DTs are going to be really cheap. I think that people try to take them down, but only on the gap up. So there's a potential for a big day, right? You can even feel it like coming out of me, right? There's this potential for a big day. But I gotta take it easy, right? Those zero DTs can get you in trouble. So my commitment today is to just do shares on them, right? So I don't fuck up and I don't ruin my vacation, right? So just a little Friday words of wisdom for you guys. If you're a brand new trader, you need to learn just two types of patterns, one breakout pattern and one pullback pattern. Guys, everybody overcomplicates everything. But in reality, with trading, there's only two things you can do. You can buy stocks on strength or you can buy stocks on weakness. So learn one breakout pattern and one pullback pattern, and that'll narrow down the realm of everything you need to do. So what are different breakout patterns? You have flat top breakout, flag breakout, and base breakout. Those are just three simple breakout patterns that require three tests of resistance and then a break. And then I would incorporate one moving average pattern. So once you have a breakout, the first thing that you want to do is hit the first dip. So I like to buy the first pullback to the 9 EMA. Now, how do you time it? You wait for a green candle to hold, and then you're good to go. So those are the two types of patterns that I would learn, and that's going to shorten your learning curve tremendously. Don't try to be the jack of all trades. Be the master of one or two things. One strength, one pull. Here is a professional trader's tech stack that you can utilize for less than $100 per month. Guys, I'm a professional trader, and I don't spend hundreds of dollars on newsletters and tech. You need three, they will total $100. Number one, you need a charting platform. You can use TC2000 Gold, it's $44.50. You can use the Premium Trading View, it's like $50 also. Number two, an online trade journal. I use TradeZilla, it's $29.99. Guys, it's going to save you a lot of time because you don't got a paper and pen this journaling, right? It's like a low-carb diet. If you paper and pen your journaling, you'll do it for 2 days and then you're done. So get an online journal. Boom. Then get some type of news feed. I use Trade Exchange. There's Benzinga, Financial Juice, but Trade Exchange is only $20 a month. You can get a quarter subscription for $50 on those Black Friday sales. Bam! $100 tech stack. This is what I use personally. I've been trading professionally since 2008. Taught thousands of traders, and this is what we use. You don't got to get too crazy. Here is a time management hack that new traders should start utilizing right now. So there are three stages to the market. You got your open, your midday, and your end of day. If you're a brand new trader, learn one of those time frames first. There's different patterns that work for each one. And what you need to do is master one of those time zones, and then you bail. What oftentimes new traders will do is they trade all day, and they use the same strategy in the morning that they do in the afternoon. And so what happens is you make some money and then you give it back. The patterns drastically change, the ones that you would use at the open versus the ones you would use at the end of the day. So what you want to do is concentrate on either 9:30 to 11, 11:30 to 2, or 2 to 4. And get really good at one of those time frames and learn those patterns inside and out. And then you're going to have some really good stock market success. Woo! What a way to live, guys. What a way to live. Really, I think this is the kind of stuff that really kickstarts your day when you're trading. Look, when I'm at home, I go to the beach every single morning. 5 a.m., 5:30, I wake up with the kid. We catch the sunrise on the water. There's just something about that, right? Like, you can't have a bad day if you catch a sunrise. I think so. Or a sunset, right? So you catch a sunset or a sunrise over the water, how are you gonna have a bad day? Whether you made money trading, lost money trading, right? Like, whether the world feels like they're just against you, which it feels like sometimes, right? I don't know about you guys, right? But you have those days where you're like, man, is this everybody against me? But I am a big believer in just movement, right? Movement is life. And so and it helps her trading a lot. My business coach, so Dr. Phil Perlman, you'll find him on Twitter, Phil Perlman. He's a psychologist by training, but he's also run hedge funds and stock twits, and he's been my business coach and trading coach. And that was the one thing, we track like key metrics, right, about my trading. And one of the metrics that actually Phil tracks for me is my weight. And he knows, like, if I've gained a couple pounds here or there, that it's not that I'm not probably exercising or lifting weights, but I'm not getting enough movement, right? Like, I'm not walking around enough. I'm just like, he knows that means I'm chained at my computer. And if I'm chained at my computer, I'm up to no good because mentally I just won't be there. So just some a little, food for thought as you kind of go through. If you get a chance, no matter where you live, go out and move, baby. Like, just go and move. I think that's the holy grail, right? Movement. Guys, here's what I would do if I have 3 red days in a row. Guys, trading accounts are busted from slumps. Your whole job is to be a slump buster or not even to get into slump. And so what I do is if I lose 2 days in a row, I cut my risk on the 3rd day by half. Meaning if I'm risking $1,000 per trade, I go to 500. If I lose that 3rd day in a row, I go to 250. If I lose a 4th day in a row, I go to 125. I keep reducing my risk as I'm losing so that I don't blow up my account. Because in the end, if you keep reducing your risk, you're not going to blow up your account from $25, $50 losses. But what most traders do is they increase their risk when they're trading. Right? So they lose, and all of a sudden, instead of risking $1,000, they're just all in on the next trade trying to make their money back. Then they lose on that trade, and then they're all in on the next trade trying to make their money back. Then they lose on that trade, and they're like, fuck, I can't make my money back today. I better do some options trades or small caps so I can lever up even more. And so when you are supposed to be reducing your risk, you're actually increasing it, trying to get in that cycle of making your money back. That's what creates account blowups. So you got to just keep reducing your risk. Don't just take the day off, right? Even if you're trading at $10 risk, just do it so you get your groove back. Once you get your groove back, then you can start to increase your risk slowly a little bit every day. Don't nail things just to nail things. I think that's where we all make the mistakes, right? Like, I made this mistake too, like where you just short something because it's overbought. But what you really need to do is, right, like we need to let these things pop up a little bit and then we'll take them down, right? So, you see something like ASTS, I think this could be something, but we don't want to really chase it down per se, right? Because the market's been so hot. We needed that gap up, frankly. I thought that would have been really important, so we didn't get that, right? We got to be a little bit more careful here. But dude, let's go fucking shred, man. Yeah, RKLB is also weak. Joby's a little bit weak. Yeah, QS I think could be the one if we need it. All right, let's go, baby. I'm short some QS. 1398. I'm short a little QS. 1398. Yeah, we got to try. 1398. I'm short QS, and I got a lot. Stick and move out of it a little bit. Damn. Okay. We got 1371, 72. Took a little bit off the table over there. Yeah, you got to. 1371, 1372, took a little bit off the table. There we go. 1351, took some off the table. Guys, I feel like this, we're due for one of these, like, kind of a little bit of a risk-off days somewhere, right? Like, you got RKLB weak, ASTS a little bit weak, so it's just a good day to try something like a QS. I don't think it's like some home run setup or anything. I mean, it could be a home run setup, but the market's just hot. They're never as easy as you think, you know what I mean? So I think you just take a lot off the table and, 1348, nice. Good job, people. I feel a little bit better now. Hey, you know what was interesting? There was a PR in UAVS. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing go today. I mean, the daily chart is really nice. Man, 240, I got some 240. I think you can watch this circle and see if it holds. It's pulling back into the 9 EMA. I wouldn't do anything just yet, but good spot to just start watching it. RKLB is starting to orb a little bit. Guys, if RKLB orbs to the downside, then they all probably get nasty. Guys, if Circle breaks down, it could take everything else with it too. RKLB, it could be a risk-off day. The only thing I'm kind of interested in is this UAVS. All right, I'm out the rest of QS, 1390, the last quarter. Yeah, you got to, because it might ORB here. I'm short some Circle, 235. Let's see, we got a green to red here. Hey guys, if QS breaks under the VWAP, I think we re-short. UAVS break it. All right, I'm re-short 1380 on the QS. Hell yeah, let's do this, peoples. Come on, baby. RKLB. All right, Circle still meandering a little bit. All right, 48.65. I'm short some RKLB. All right. We're starting to make some moves here. 1370s on QS. We need a little bit more. Fady McGee, I think. 1378, good. I think we need more. Look at this ASTS also, a little bit weak. This bull does look kind of nice. Yeah, we'll see if that ORB's here. I covered our KLB, fuckers. Took the loss, damn it. All right, guys, so it's been a pretty fun day. Like this BTCS paid the bills. Obviously made a couple mistakes on Circle today. I was up twice on it too, taking the loss. But overall, like a pretty solid day. SBET was a decent trade, you know. I just started off slow. Yeah, I think, you know, that's something I think that shorting right now is just a little bit tough too. So you got to be like more selective when you're shorting and all this kind of stuff. You know, you got to be careful and you got to stop out quick and do all of that kind of, you know, hoot and nanny. But this is a great trading market, man. Let's, you know, dig in. I'm going to hit it out bot. I'll get some, I'll do kind of a little market recap when I hit the road. I got to see what the Bachu's doing.